It says we are live, so welcome everybody for this surprise edition of Gospel Tangents Live. So, if you are joining us here, let me know where you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, also where you live, whether it's Utah or somewhere else. I would love to know that somebody's watching and listening. I will be giving away Joseph Fielding Smith, a Mormon theologian, today, and so I've got my drawing here, and so I'm just waiting. It looks like we have at least two people. So tell us who you are, where you're calling from or watching from, and if it's Facebook or you. I guess it'll tell me that. Um, but thanks for coming me on this late night unannounced edition. I just thought if you've been watching, oh, there we go, Terry Davy. Yes, Deb Luz, I am live now, so welcome. Um, Terry Davy from Watertown, New York. You are a night owl. I think you're always one of my first people on, so thanks for being a night owl. And then we've got Paul in Flagstaff, Paul Black. So welcome. I'm glad to have you guys all. Looks like you're all YouTube watchers right now, and I'm glad you're all late night watchers here. I was trying to get on sooner, but if you haven't noticed, I've been doing a lot of traveling. And oh, by the way, do I sound okay? Hopefully I sound okay. I think I don't hear myself in my ears. I got a headset on and it doesn't work. But so anyway, welcome. I'm trying to remember. I've been doing so much traveling lately. I think I started out. Yeah, Deb's correct. Terry is later than you. Deb, you're up late too. So I've been doing a lot of stuff here. Paul says it's loud and clear. I'm glad to hear that because my headset doesn't seem to be working. Um, all right. And then Terry Davy, you are a good presenter with good info. That's why I watch. Thank you. You're a good complimenter. I appreciate that. Um, so I'm going to wait just a few minutes to give that out here. And I just copied a boatload of pictures. I've been doing so much traveling, I haven't had any time to edit. Oh, I thought this was going to be in order. And it's not in order. I'll just talk really quickly. Deb, I'm glad you like my shirt. I'm going old school. This is the old Gospel Tangents logo. So thanks. Started with the Community of Christ conference in Independence. I can't read and talk at the same time. It doesn't work, but thanks, Terry. And so that was super fun. You guys kind of watch. I put out a video a while back. I haven't had time to edit new ones, and it's funny because I've actually been kind of running out of interviews, and I haven't been too concerned because I'm like, got so many travel videos that I need to edit still and do. So I've got those coming up. But anyway, you kind of saw my reactions to Stacey Cram being ordained the new prophet in the Community of Christ. That was a super fun trip. Then I went to came home early because it's a week long. In fact, Deb, I should figure out. I should I should have Deb give me updates on what happened after I left. Did Edwin Patterson die? I don't know who Edwin Patterson is, so I can't. I don't know. I don't know who that is. So hopefully Edwin is still alive, but I do not know. GT is always interesting. Didn't know you did live. Yes, I like today. It was a surprise. I was trying to get this yesterday. Didn't get around to it. Gonna do it earlier today, but anyway, it's a late night edition. And so thank you for being night owls, all you people. So so I've got a lot of videos of things I've done. I've got the Mesa Temple. Oh my goodness. We have Craig Newsom saying Kia ora from New Zealand. Oh, by the way, Craig, my nephew just got his mission call to New Zealand. And so I can't remember. I want to say, I think it's his sister went to New Zealand also. She went to the south side. I think he's going to the north side, or I can't remember. So maybe you'll get to see him, Elder Bromley. So he leaves in September. So anyway, glad to have and I ran into. Well, it's funny. It's funny, Craig, since you mentioned you're from New Zealand. While I was in Independence for the Community of Christ World Conference, I stopped by the Temple Lot Church, and I met a man who lives in Independence, but I thought he was Australian, and he said, "No, I'm a Kiwi." And so that was interesting. And he was, in fact, I've got my fingers crossed. It's really hard to get Temple Lot people on, but I'm going back out in September. I'm already planning too much stuff because he said he might give an interview, and Tom from that fundamentalist group also said he might give me an interview. And I would really like to get Stacey Cram before then because I'm like, I'm going to pack in way too many interviews. And anyway, so so Craig also says, awesome. Hopefully Wellington mission. It might be. I can't remember. I'll have to find out. So you're coming. Oh, you're going to just miss my son's you're coming to the U.S. Not, are you coming to Utah? That would be awesome. My son has his wedding reception on the 5th of July. And so then we got this answer. Terry Deva. Edwin is the Josh McDowell for LDS. The Josh McDowell. That's the only guy I know. And then he gave me another comment. He's an apologist and probably one of the best I've heard on here anywhere. Okay. I don't know who Edwin is. Josh McDowell didn't. Oh, I'm thinking of Jack McDowell. He used to pitch for the White Sox. But anyway, I'm a sports guy, so I always go to sports first. But anyway, so yeah, so I visited the Temple Lot, did a lot of fun stuff. I've got a video to edit. I updated my tour this time with video. So I've been experimenting with cell phone cameras, and so that'll be fun. So I've got a lot of stuff from Independence still that I haven't published yet. And then Mormon History Association was a lot of fun. Did a couple of church tours, LDS churches, which was, there's one in Ogden that was really old. And then I gave a guy a ride home, Joseph Soderberg, and then he gave me a tour of his church where President Hinckley told about sitting on the back row and kind of getting a testimony and that sort of a thing. So, so Craig, you're flying into Utah, but doing a Joseph Smith history tour. Okay, well, you should let me know more about that. Maybe we can get together. So, yeah, I am definitely sports minded. So anyway, let's see. So then I came home. I was going to go to Houston, but I just felt like I was doing too much traveling. And so I didn't go to Houston. Instead, I went to go see the Strangites up in Wisconsin. I should show a few pictures. I just downloaded them on my computer and they're not in any sort of an order. Let me see if I can share a picture, if I can find it. But the coolest thing, I stayed with Bill Shepard. Bill's a former guest here on Gospel Tangents. And these pictures are not in any sort of order to make any. I should have been a little bit more organized. But the cool thing was I got to hang out with Bill Shepard and oh wow, and a guy named Gary Weber. And so Bill Shepard, he's getting up in age and his mobility isn't what it used to be, and so that's sad. We don't like to see Bill slowing down. He's a great person, and so Gary gave me a tour of Promise. No, I keep calling it Promise Hill, the Hill of Promise, which is like the Hill Cumorah. And Deb is right. I hung out with David Boyce too, and so I've got some videos. Haven't had time to edit it. Oh, maybe I can find you here. I'll see if I can give you guys a preview if I can figure out how to share this, because I'm not. It's not on YouTube. Strang, Gary Weber. And so it's probably going to be sideways. Oh, I think this is it. No, is it? Here, I'm going to look at my video here before I share it with you guys. Okay, that was the wrong video. Oh, this one's labeled Hill of Promise. This must be the right one. And, okay, I'm going to try to share my screen here as soon as it's thinking. Oh, perfect. And I'm going to even try to share this with you. This will be the preview. And oh, by the way, I should just mention here really quick, OBP loves my interviews and Mormon Insight. Thank you for doing the super chat. That's awesome. You demonstrate how people who disagree can be friends. And so thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Now I got to figure out how to share this screen. I'm going to share with you the Hill of Promise, which is kind of like the Hill Cumorah for the Strangites. I mean, they believe in the Hill Cumorah and, of course, the Book of Mormon. And video file. And, oh, you're going to make me go find it again? But it's for the Vori plates. And so for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'll be interviewing Gary here in a couple. Well, I've already interviewed him. I just need to edit it. In a couple of weeks, I'll have it up. But Gary was kind enough. There was actually a lot of. Bill arranged for me to go on a tour of all the Strangite sites. I had no idea, and so that was really cool. So me and David Boyce hang out, and David said every time he goes, it's always the winter time, and so this was nice because it was summertime. I can't think and talk at the same time. Here it is. Okay, I'm getting close here. Hill of Promise. Here we go. Hopefully.
This is the Hill of Promise.
Okay. And I don't know if you can hear because you know what, I probably can't. Let me ask a quick question. Could you hear that? That's Gary Weber, by the way, and David Boyce. I probably forgot to save it. So tell you what, I'm going to unshare, remove. It's quiet? Okay, let me try this one more time. I really should learn how to do this. Oh, it said it was there. Okay.
About it is there was a small tree.
So this is the Hill of Promise.
Well, probably about the size of that one. I mean, that's not not the actual tree because that probably wasn't. I'm sure
because they cut it down.
Wasn't even here then.
Yeah.
But anyways, James A. Strang got the various men that were well respected in the town and told them that there was a buried record underneath the tree. And so they dug underneath the tree
but it was up on this hill here?
Yeah. And they dug it up and they found what is called the Vori record.
Okay.
And it was a record of a people that had lived in this area, and they had a great war, kind of similar to what happened in the Hill Cumorah. And he says, "My people are no more, but I leave this record that we were a people of God." And he left a pictorial representing the priesthood, from the prophet to the viceroys to the 12 apostles and to the 70s, and it was structured exactly the way the priesthood is structured under Joseph and James. And so it was remarkable that he knew that there was this record that was underneath this tree, and they all could tell that there had never anyone ever disturbed the soil or been underneath it, but an angel had appeared to him and told him about where the record was. And so he got these men together to show that, you know, it hadn't been tampered with. And when they opened up the stone casing of the record, it had been there so long that when it hit the air, it just crumbled, which is what happens when you have ancient artifacts like that when they hit the air. and he translated it, and it gives the record, a short record of the people of Raja Ramjor that had lived here in this Hill of Promise area. And another significance to the Hill of Promise is that in the Revelations of James, he tells that on the Hill of Promise that someday Daniel in the Bible shall appear and come to the saints here to teach them and to tell them that the time of Christ is about soon approaching. And so this is another reason why it's a sacred hill, because Daniel, the prophet in the Bible, is going to come here to the Hill of Promise and deliver a message to God's people and tell them that Christ is soon, his coming, second coming is soon approaching. So we have meetings here sometimes to kind of commemorate that.
Very cool. All right. So anyway, that's a sneak preview of what I've got coming up here. So very good. So anyway, let me catch up on a few things here. How is Gary's brother Potsy doing? I did not meet Potsy, so I do not know. So hopefully fine. He didn't mention anything about Potsy. So Terry said, I was hardcore anti until I found Edwin and Dusty Smith. I'm done a complete 360 or 180. Yeah, 360 would make you an anti again. You're 180, right? I don't know what it is at this time of night, but anyway, these two guys brought me back to the church. Awesome. That's great to hear. Allison said, yes, we can hear. How do we enter the book giveaway? So here's the thing. It's too late to enter today's book giveaway. But it's not too late because tomorrow I'm going to be up late tonight editing because I want to release this tomorrow. Tomorrow, John Turner is releasing this book on Amazon, Joseph Smith, The Rise and Fall of an American Prophet. And I'm going to be giving away, actually, it's behind me. This is the one I've been reading, and you can see it's kind of messed up. That one's in nicer condition. Autographed copy of this. So Allison and everybody else, if you want to enter this for tomorrow's contest, go to gospeltangents.com/contest and you could win this book. But tonight I'm giving away, I've been meaning to give this away a while, but I've been traveling too much and I haven't had time. And normally I like to put a PowerPoint together, but I didn't have time. So anyway, I'm going to be giving away this tonight. Joseph Fielding Smith, a Mormon theologian. And in fact, I think it's time to bring out my raffle wheel here and spin it around. And we're going to give away this book. That's right. I flew out to Claremont and, of course, left the book home. So I forgot to get it autographed. So you'll have to get Matt to do it himself. But at any rate, here we go. Here is the winner of today's raffle. And we have Mark Francis from Wendell, Idaho. So congratulations, Mark. You are a winner of this. Now, and I should also mention, I'm not even done with my travels yet because today's Monday, right? On Wednesday, I'm flying up to Calgary to go to, my son's getting married on Saturday, and so we're making a little vacation out of this. And so in fact, I was just up there like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was the other thing. And I got a few videos. I'm trying not to get too much of the wedding in there. There might be a few, but we'll see. But that was really fun. Calgary is the first international temple for the LDS Church. And so that's pretty cool. Let's see, how do I do this? And so I plan to be doing a video on Calgary. Some people think it looks like Mesa, the Mesa Temple. Back in April, I did the Mesa Temple. I haven't made that video yet. I've got like so many videos. That's why I was like, oh, I'm not too worried about, I don't have enough views because I've got all these travel videos that I haven't had time to edit. So anyway, yeah, so OBP, there was a raffle. And in fact, I'll be doing it again in probably 2 weeks. I will be giving away John Turner's book, in a couple weeks. So go to gospeltangents.com/contest if you want a chance to win this one. Too late for everybody on this one because Mark Francis from Wendell, Idaho won that one. I think that's the second Idaho winner in a row. So congrats. Oh, Terry Dave's now is tomorrow. It is, yeah, you're in New York, so it's tomorrow is now. So yeah, it still says this book in here, but it's not. I'm not giving that away. And it is funny, I just well, I guess it was a first time release from my interview last year with Marianne Clements, because she had given me Secret Covenants, and somebody was like, I want to win that. I'm like, I gave that away a year ago. Sorry, too late for that one. But anyway, congratulations, Mark. I'll be getting that in the mail soon. And it's a good book. It's a great book. So anyway, what else? So those are some things we have to look forward to. The String-Eyed interview, John Turner, that's coming up tomorrow. I've done my first kind of main edit. I still need to incorporate my intros and outros and that sort of a thing. So hopefully I'm not up too late tonight, but I'm going to try to get out part 1 tonight. And so will you do... you might like some of our books as well. What I don't know what you're referring to there, OBP. Let me know. That's awesome. So what else is there? I've really had an interesting thing. I'm going to mention this because this is, I don't know if this is breaking news. I'm not really a news breaker, but I was really surprised to hear this. Going back to the Temple lot, they are going to quit selling the Book of Commandments. And I was shocked to hear that. And I said, are you getting ready to decanonize it? And he didn't say yes, but he hinted that that probably was going to happen. And it's funny because I met a guy from Omaha. I can't remember his name, but he bought me lunch and dinner. He was a nice guy. And I'm sorry I can't remember your name. I'm just going off the top of my head. What was I saying about him? Oh, I can't remember. So anyway, I met him out there. Because that's what it was. He had bought a Book of Commandments, and I told him, but that was when we met the Kiwi from New Zealand at the Temple lot. And then the next day I went back and I saw Randy Sheldon, and Randy was the one who told me that they're going to quit selling the Book of Commandments. And so anyway, it sounds like they're going to vote on it maybe at their next conference. I'm not exactly sure when that is. Randy once again wouldn't agree to it, but I'm hoping the other guy, his name was Trevor. I'm hoping I can get Trevor on. So I'm excited. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. So, and I wonder if I have any pictures. Well, I should make a video. I'll just make a video for the String-Eyed. It was really fun hanging out with the String-Eyeds. Plus, I got to go to a Brewers game. My friend Walter Reed got killer tickets right behind the Cardinals dugout. It was great. Cardinals won. So if you're a Cardinals fan, I mean, I don't really care. Red Sox beat the Cardinals in the World Series a while back. Swept them. It was nice because back in the 60s, Bob Gibson shut down the Red Sox with Ted Williams. So anyway, or maybe that was it Ted Williams? I can't remember. I do know that the Cardinals Bob Gibson beat the Red Sox. Terry Davies says, what is the Book of Commandments? I just assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. So thank you for asking questions. I shouldn't assume that people just know everything. So the Book of Commandments was the precursor to the Doctrine and Covenants. So back in 1833, they were originally going to publish what we would now call it the Doctrine and Covenants, but it had a lot fewer sections, and so they were in the process of printing the pages and everything, and then a mob came in and destroyed the printing press, and so they were only able to bind like a few copies. a replica somewhere on my shelves that I can't see of the Book of Commandments. The interesting thing is they're really small books. They're like they're tiny books. Um, and because the Partridge Girls, and I think it was Mary Elizabeth Rollins, they were like teenagers, and so they gathered up the loose pages of the original Book of Commandments and saved some copies. And so, like, I know a first edition copy of the Book of Mormon. I wish I could find it. I know it's on my shelves here somewhere. Um, well, this is the small one, but it's smaller than that. I know I have it on my shelves here somewhere. But the first edition Book of Mormon is expensive, but the first edition Book of Commandments is even more expensive because it's rare. Like, they're so rare. Like, anyway, so yeah, and OBP answered that question as well. Yeah, it was before the first DNC. How did my weekend with David go? Good to see you, Steve. My weekend was awesome. It was great. Oh, I have to tell you, the whole it was kind of a whirlwind trip. I flew in Friday night, hung out with Bill Shepard, and he's one of my favorite people ever. I'm sad, we all get old. None of us want to get old. I mean, we don't want to die either, right? but Bill's, he's just having some troubles getting around, and age, it catches up to us all. It claims 100% of us. But he's such a kind, nice person. Stayed with Bill. And then we went to the Strangite Church the next day, met David Boyce there. I have a few pictures. It's hard to send them here. I should have put them together. I'll show them in a video anyway. So the church was a lot smaller than I expected. And so then after church, we went out to a cafe. And it was funny because I walked in with Bill and David, and the restaurant people were like, I don't recognize these two guys. And so I guess it's like a tradition. They always go after lunch to this restaurant. And so it was a lot of fun. And then Gary was there too. You saw Gary on that video there I just showed. So Gary Weber took me, Gary and his wife took me and David around to the Hill of Promise. They've got a they call it a trust farm. They've purchased a lot of the land right there. And I always wondered, you'll find this out in my interview with Gary Weber, because I thought it was originally called Voree, but I guess it's always been called Burlington, and that was just what James Strang called it, was Voree. But there were about 7 or 8 sites there, and most of them, there were a few that were not owned by the church, but a lot of them were owned by the church. They even had a plaque. Well, I was going to show that one. Maybe I'll show that one really quickly. That had the temple, because this James Strang was going to build a temple, and so let me see if I can find that here. And so, in fact, it was funny because David Boyce he was looking closer at the plaque. Oh, here it is. How long is this video? This is a minute video. I'll show another one if I can figure out how to share this. And so there's no temple site anymore. And it was never actually built, but they have a map that shows where the temple. It was just right across the White River. And I'll show you another quick clip. This is about a minute clip. If I can find it. Strang Temple, here it is. So the temple was across the river.
It was quite significant
over there,
because this is like a size of temples where you got Washington, D.C., Salt Lake. So the Voree Temple, they estimate it was this large.
Yeah, I don't
like the Community of Christ Temple.
Yeah, I don't really know how big it was because they really didn't get much further than laying the cornerstones.
Yeah.
This was the cornerstone here?
No.
Oh, over on the other side of the river.
The temple was to
Okay.
be built.
Because I had heard that it was just so large for what they were trying to build. It's just they didn't have the manpower to do
That
it.
could be. I don't
So
know.
it was bigger than Salt Lake?
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
This is a graph that I saw. So the Vori Temple was right there
Oh, wow.
compared to the Nauvoo.
That looks like a John Hammer picture.
I don't know.
I don't know where I got that.
I'm sure it
don't
is. It looks like John Hammer.
I don't know how they.
I didn't know that was on there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So here's the
I
map.
don't know how they would have estimated that because
Yeah.
it never really got built more than the foundation.
Sure.
Because they soon after they moved to Beaver Island.
All right. So anyway, when I get time to edit, I will clean up the audio on that. Haven't like that's totally raw, and you can hear the cars driving by. And I'm sure that was kind of hard to hear, but anyway, so yeah, so it was fun. Do I dare break news with David Boyce? I don't think this is a secret. David just sold his house in Wisconsin, and he's going to be moving to Utah. And so I said, I want to go to Beaver Island, and so I'm going to try really hard to go in either July or August, because David's moving at the end of July to Utah. I hope that's okay with David. I don't think that was a secret. So anyway, yeah. So David, he's a cool friend. He was supposed to go to the Brewers game with us, but he couldn't go. So anyway, let's see here. So yeah, COC it was previously the RLDS Church. They changed their name in 2000, and so yes, David's been on my podcast, and I think the world of David. He's awesome. So I haven't gone to String Eyed Island. It's called Beaver Island, but that's the plan. Anybody else want to go? Because there's actually, you can take a plane out there and you can take a ferry. I talked to Locke Mackay years ago, and he goes, "Don't take the ferry." He goes, "It's really rough seas." And so, but I think it's like $60. Is it each way? I can't remember. And the plane is like 114, so it's a little bit more expensive. But anyway, yes, David is a convert to the Restoration, and so yeah, I consider David a really good friend. And Steve too. So, and Steve, you should come. So I know it's kind of a quick trip, but this is what you do when you have a wife or a flight attendant and you can fly. I mean, I can't fly to Beaver Island for free, but I can fly to Grand Rapids, Michigan for free on Southwest. So, so that's how, in case some of you are wondering, how do I get around so much? It's because I get free flights. So, anyway, we were trying to get Kyle and Vicky. Oh, I found out Vicky speak. She's kind of a string-out expert. She's been on Gospel Tangents, but I haven't even told her about this yet. So I guess we need to let her know. July or August, we're going to try to go out there. Gary Weber did say there's not a lot to see out at Beaver Island. They've got most of it's like dirt roads. And you go out there for a few hours and go home. So there is a ferry that'll take you out there, and the ferry will take cars apparently. But I think you can rent a golf cart. I think Gary told me that if you wanted to, and that's a fine way to get around. So anyway, yeah. So that's what we got coming up. I'm super excited about tomorrow's interview with John Turner. He's funny. He's definitely got a great sense of humor, and this is a great book. I got to read about 2/3 of it before, because I actually got it before, because Benchmark Books had it for sale for 2 or 3 weeks. So I got an early copy, and then I got another copy, the one behind me there, that I'm going to be giving away. So if you're coming on late, once again, gospeltangents.com/contest. Right now, it still says the Joseph Fielding Smith book, but if you sign up today, it'll be for this book, because I just gave that away to Mark. So congratulations. Oh, Steve, one of my cousins flew to Beaver Island back in the day. You're kidding me. So that's awesome. I know Vicky Speak is trying to do a census on the island. So looking forward to that. I actually did see, I'm not going to show you that one yet, but I found the house that James Strang died in. So for those of you who know about the Strangites, maybe here, I'll give you a brief history really quickly. So June 27th, 1844, Joseph Smith died. And James Strang claims on that day an angel came and ordained him to be the next prophet. Now, he was a convert of just since February of that year. Um, but he claimed he had an angelic ordination. He translated plates just like Joseph did with the Vori plates. And then he translated the plates of Laban later, which is they call the book of the law of the Lord. And they quote from it quite a bit. They believe in the Pearl of Great Price, Doctrine and Covenants, um, lectures on faith. So they've got like 6 books of scripture as opposed to just, our 4. And so anyway, so James Strang, so he settled in Vori/Burlington, and then he had a revelation, I guess, or something to go to Beaver Island, and so which is in the middle of Lake Michigan, and so he was crowned king of Beaver Island. He was actually in the Michigan legislature for a while. He was the state senator, I think, and uh, he didn't like all the Gentiles selling liquor to the Indians, and so he tried to put a stop to that, and that really ticked off a lot of the Gentiles, and so he was basically assassinated on the dock there in Lake Michigan, and with the help of the U.S. Navy. It's a wild story. Uh, Vicky Speak, Kyle Bashir's, Bill Shepard. You can watch all my previous interviews. They talk about a lot more detail than I'm giving you guys. But James didn't die for 3 weeks. And they took him back to Burlington, and he stayed in I think it was his parents' house, if I remember that right. I think that's right. And so we drove by with Gary in his car, James Strang's house. The other thing that was a lot of fun, because I'm a sports fan, is went to the Brewers Cardinals game after, and so it was a 3 o'clock game. It was great, and so that was fun to hang out with my friend Walter Reed. Um, so anyway, I'm looking forward to doing this, and so that'll be a lot of fun. So, what else is there? I think I've told you those 2 groups. So anyway, that's kind of what I've got. I've got a lot of travel videos that I just haven't had time to edit. I'm trying to have time. And also the Mesa Temple video, I never showed that one. And the not Calgary, Cardston, Alberta temple, first international temple. I'm trying to remember. I kind of got some pictures. So it was kind of nice. About 3 weeks ago, my daughter-in-law, she's not daughter-in-law until Saturday, but anyway, she received her endowment up in Cardston. So we flew and drove up there. She lives about 3 hours from an airport. So there was a lot of driving. And so we went up to Cardston. And so I thought it would be fun to go up there. In fact, that just reminds me, they gave me a book on the history of Raymond, Alberta, Canada. I did not know Raymond Knight. Now, there used to be the guy who replaced Pete Rose in Cincinnati. His name was Ray Knight. So different Ray Knight, basically. Raymond Knight was a son of, I believe, Newell K. Knight, and he settled in Alberta. It's like, to this day, it's like 80% Mormon, I think. And so it's practically Utah up in Canada. And Cardston, I think, is the same way. Cardston's more like Manti, where it's out in the middle of nowhere. But it was built in the early 1900s. It kind of has that pioneer feel. If you've seen or gone to the Manti Temple, they had an open house a couple years ago. I think it was 2 years ago because they had recently restored it. At one time, they were going to tear out all the murals, and a lot of people complained and said you can't tear out the murals, and so they backed off and they didn't. And I think they've got a lot of uh, varnish on there. And I know when I went to Cardston, I think it has a lot of varnish on there because the paintings are not very bright. They're kind of dark. I mean, the temple's a little bit darker than most temples also. Um, so I'm hoping they're building a new temple in Lethbridge, Alberta, which is a much bigger town than Raymond. Much bigger town than Cardston as well. Raymond's a small town. Um, but uh, I'm hoping that they can peel off that varnish and kind of bring out the colors a little better, because they're just kind of. It looks like they've. I don't know if faded is the right word, but they're just not as vibrant as they used to be. I think so. So anyway, there's a new temple in Lethbridge, and once they open Lethbridge, they're going to shut down Cardston, and hopefully refurbish it. Hopefully keep the murals. President Nelson, please keep the murals. So anyway, Deb, good to see you. I know it's too late. I probably should wrap this up soon. 4:45 is much too quick, I'm sure. So thanks, Deb. Always good to see you. And uh, anyway, so I've got that video. Plus, I'm going to make new videos up here this weekend. So, and we're going to go to Banff as well. So anyway, I know it's getting very late, and so I will let you guys all go. If you have any last questions, throw them in there really quickly. But it's always fun to hang out with you guys, and I know I should do this more often. I need to get on a schedule somehow. I'm just terrible. I'm too busy. I think, oh, I'm not teaching this summer. The Jazz aren't in school or in session, and the hockey team, and I just fill it up with other stuff. I fill it up with going to church history sites. So anyway, so I'll let you all go. I'll try to post some pictures from Cardston and Canada. That's where I'm going this weekend. So anyway, thanks again for this impromptu Gospel Tangents Live, and we'll see you all later. And check out my John Turner interview tomorrow. How do I turn this off? There we go.